Here's a 2018 Ultra. The primary's been making a lot of noise, and it's been doing it for a year or so. And I always figured it was the automatic tensioner. So once I just took the cover off, I mean, there is no play in the chain at all. And this is I don't think you can see it very good, but this is a ratcheting mechanism. So it's spring loaded and it ratchets up to the next slot, and once it ratchets up, it's never gonna get looser. So I mean, this is as loose as the chain is gonna get. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure with the twin cams it was like 5/8 play minimum, and I don't have the service manual for this, but I'm assuming it should be the same on this. And so this is way too tight. So I ordered a Baker manual adjuster. There's also a Screaming Eagle one that I saw in the catalog, but I couldn't find any reviews on it, so I wasn't sure. I didn't want to waste the money. At least with the Baker one, there's hundreds of reviews you can see online, and they're like 90% positive. It's more expensive, but that's what I'm gonna go with, and then we'll see what happens after I install it. So this is the Baker attitude adjuster, manual adjuster. Sort of a pain in the ass because you'll have to take the whole cover off. You won't have the trap door that used to be there, unlike the pre-2007 Softails and touring bikes. So this is the chain. This is sort of what it looks like properly adjusted. Hopefully that'll add some longevity. The previous one only had an 1/8 to 1/4 inch of play, maybe at most, and I'm sure that's going to be reduced greatly if you're out on a 2-hour ride in 80-degree weather. I'm sure it would probably be cut in half, maybe. But the other things here, this is the first time I've opened up an M8 primary. I will say this, I like this. This is a beefy cover, really beefy cover. And it looks like it's got 2 bolts here, maybe 2 bolts behind the flywheel and clutch assembly. Much easier than the other bikes that used to have like 10 or 12 bolts and the bend over tabs. You don't have that anymore. And also on the compensator, they've got Bellevue washers, and it's probably hard to see. These things are like a 1/4 inch thick, so it's a cup washer, and they compress together to give you spring pressure, and they're the biggest ones I've ever seen on a stock compensator assembly. And then the clutch assembly here with the 3 springs, different than the old fingers, so it'll be very easier probably to put better springs in there if you up the horsepower. But I like what I see. The only thing you need is a T70 Torx, and you need one of these primary tools, these wedging tools that you can wedge in here so you can break the bolt free. And it was pretty simple. You did have to take the compensator apart so you could get the chain to move over, so you get the assembly back behind the chain. As long as I didn't have a T70 hat, so I had to go out and buy one, but I've always had one of these. Just but easy installation. I think anyone could handle that. And we'll see if this fixes the whining noise I had in the primary. I'll let you know. So would I recommend the Baker attitude adjuster? I would not. I wouldn't recommend it. The reason why is it's loud. I don't know. It did fix the chain being too tight, and it did take away the whining I was getting from the chain being too tight, but it created a whole different noise where it sounded like there was pebbles bouncing around in the primary. I even had to drain it and take the cover back off, make sure I had torqued it properly, readjusted the chain, reset it. Everything was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Visually inspecting it was fine. There's not much to it. And then I put it all back together, and I still had that noise. It just sounded like there's a pebble in the primary or pebble. It was really weird. I don't know. But it should be perfect. And so I wouldn't recommend Baker attitude adjuster. I wouldn't recommend it. It's the most expensive one out there. And I wasn't happy with the sound. It worked fine. It was just a weird sound. I don't know. So a buddy of mine installed the Screaming Eagle attitude auto adjuster, and he had good luck with that one. He installed his since I installed mine, and he said it works perfect and it's silent. And he's a great mechanic, and he wrenches on all his own stuff, so that carries a lot of weight with me. Plus, I looked at the reviews again for the Baker. There's a ton of positive reviews on the Baker attitude adjuster, but you have to get way down to the bottom of the list to start getting to the negative reviews. And there's many people that complain of the same thing that I was complaining of the sounds coming from the primary, and so I wouldn't recommend it. I would try the Screaming Eagle, and the Screaming Eagle one is half price of the Baker. So all right, good luck. Thanks.